How have we become the unconscious causes of the effects in our life? How did it get messed up to where we perpetuate pain instead of us just making our desires come true? And so in this podcast, what I'm going to be sharing with you are the tools of science, the tools of spirituality, the universal laws, my high sense perception of the chakras. And so I'm just going to be sharing with you mental and emotional tools so that when you're moving through life and your body enters an energy, a trigger, that you have a little bit more or different tools in your brain to perceive the feeling sensation you're having in your body versus doing whatever habit you usually do when that trigger happens. Welcome to Queen Bold EQ podcast, where I share with you the mindset, energetics, emotional intelligence, and habits required to transform your health and manifest your dream body. I'm your host, Lauren Saracione, a 20-plus year fitness professional, lifelong entrepreneur, and I have self-healed my chronic pain and my emotional eating. And I am here to share with you the spiritual and the practical so you can transform your health and manifest your dream body. Welcome to Queen Bold EQ. This is a body energetics production hosted by me, Lauren Saracione. So I'm going to make this intro episode pretty short and sweet and let you know what to expect in the upcoming episodes. So in June of 2023, I will be in fitness for 22 years. I cannot even freaking believe it. So I have a lot to share with you from a professional perspective of like, what is the actual habit implementation and lifestyle changes that we need to have in order to get healthy and get our dream body. But also the irony is that even though I knew what to do, I never actually got my dream body. And in my life's journey to have self-love and self-respect and self-worth, what I have found out is that my entrepreneurial journey had a lot to do with proving my value to society. And it was a perfect place for me to project my mean girl ways of not feeling good enough, judging other people, feeling like somebody was on a pedestal and I wasn't doing a good enough job, or feeling I was doing a better job than somebody else. The business really was a great, should I say great? The business was really a place where in hindsight, I can really see how my fawning reaction to big trauma, big T trauma, and little T trauma would show up. And then also where my habits of overdoing things to prove my worth would show up. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you and why we're going to get into it more in other episodes is because when we have 0 to 7 early childhood programming that makes us feel like we have to earn love or prove our validation, prove our worth, it shows up a lot in work. And so the irony of me being an entrepreneur, but also in fitness, was that even though in theory, I knew what to do, but I wasn't doing it. And I didn't recognize the signs of dis-ease in my body were self-induced. So I'm going to share with you how to look at the things that we're doing. And I'm going to share with you the science and the spirituality behind it from doctors and from spiritual laws. Because when we are looking at our business is a reflection of who we be. And we're in a time where business and entrepreneurship is about the value that you give to somebody else. And of course, that's always been a thing, like has to be value for an exchange of goods. But what we're seeing so much right now in the entrepreneurial space is that people are teaching people how to reconnect with themselves. So you see people teaching people how to break down the mindset barriers to making money, to having a relationship, to getting healthy, to losing weight. And the only way we can be that energetic match or that embodiment or that person qualified to hold what all of that entails, a relationship, money, career, all those things, we have to disassemble all of the old mental and emotional operating systems that are blocking us, that are giving us self-doubt and questioning if we're worthy of those things. So this time of entrepreneurialism is a reconnection of self. And we can see this in what people are teaching. People are teaching a thing, but in order for the person to get to the thing, the person has to change. And so I want to share this with you from my perspective and my experience, that my mental and emotional blocks around my business then showed up in my body. And the mental and emotional blocks that were in my body showed up in my business. And it deteriorated my body. And it took a long time to feel empowered again, to really step into being a business owner after my gym had closed. So we're going to get into that. Chronic pain, chronic tension, chronic dis-ease, and the science and the spirituality that goes into that. And then, of course, like the real 3D habit stuff as the fitness professional that I'm going to guide you through. The other thing that we're going to get into is my experience with emotions and energy and projections as it pertains to diet, food, and exercise. Because those things, what I have found in my own personal healing, is that the way that I felt before or after food, diet, or exercise had a lot to do with a memory that maybe I was aware of, that I knew, okay, this thing happened to me a long time ago that I'm sad about. And sometimes when like certain things in my work happen or certain things in a relationship happen, I immediately remember that memory. And so I kind of know it's tied. Those ones, plus ones that I actually had to force myself to re-experience. And so after spending a lot of time in meditation, purposely feeling the bad emotions that I had tied to food, diet, and exercise, I was able to actually see why I created that meaning about myself with that emotion. Sometimes I could see where the memory came from, where I was victimized. And then I could also start to see how I was victimizing other people or projecting those feelings or doing things in my habits so that I would reinflict those emotions. So in my experience, the chronic pain and chronic tension and chronic dis-ease that we can have in our body has a lot to do with having an achieving mentality and a performance mentality that in its shadow is like proving and needing validation. And then that the emotions that we have around the things that are necessary strategically to get to our physical body outcome of our desired aesthetic, that's kind of where we would re-experience some of the hurtful things. And so since I've spent so many years doing this, I started meditating in 2014. I got into it very heavily in 2017 after I had a cervical disc injury. And I heard about psychosomatics, and I heard that you can change your energy, and I heard that you can change your personality. And if you change your personality, you change your physical body. So I really got into meditation for over an hour at a time in 2017. And then in 2020, when things were very limited of things that you could do, most of the time I spent meditating and in contemplation of what is energy, what is cause and effect. If we have a desire to change something in our body and in our life, why can't we do it? So my meditation from 2020 on was what went wrong in cause and effect, and who was the first perpetrator. And I'm sharing that with you because those two questions that I was asking to understand the world is what really took me into an internal rabbit hole for me to find who was the first perpetrator in my life that affected me so much that for most of my life, I really hated myself and was really depressed. What was the first time that I felt that bad? And then what went wrong in the natural order of cause and effect? That question was up because I thought, like, if somebody says I want to lose weight and they can't lose weight, and there's a cause and an effect. If there's cause and effect, how have we become the unconscious causes of the effects in our life? How did it get messed up to where we perpetuate pain instead of us just making our desires come true? And so with those two questions, and with my career, and with what I learned in personal development in 2010, and what I learned about energy to get out of chronic pain in 2017, it's like everything really started to come together. And I got to experience feelings in my body that were stored in my body, but that I did not have an awareness of. I did things to re-inflict the pain. And so in this podcast that I'm going to be sharing with you are the tools of science, the tools of spirituality, the universal laws, my high sense perception of the chakras, how the chakras work with the light body, how there's layers to the chakras, that there's layers to the chakras that help the physical body on this 3D plane, but the chakras are interdimensional. And so there's different aspects that we can use of the chakras. And so I'm just going to be sharing with you mental and emotional tools that sometimes, if I'm doing really well, I can make a great graphic on Canva to show you what it looks like. But I'm going to share with you concepts so that when you're moving through life and your body enters an energy, a trigger, that you have a little bit more or different tools in your brain to perceive the feeling sensation you're having in your body versus doing whatever habit you usually do when that trigger happens. Because the things that we do when we get triggered are either to keep us safe, to dull us from the pain that's coming up, or to re-inflict pain. That's the cycle of abuse. Sounds nonsensical, but we will do things to re-inflict pain. So if we're feeling really good, there could be an aspect of the mental, emotional body that's like, this is not who we are. We're supposed to feel bad about ourselves. And then we start eating a bunch of shit so that we can feel bad because that's what we're used to feeling. So I'm going to share with you all the ways sabotage is a sneaky little thing, but sabotage is really where our power is, because sabotage is the energy that's holding who you are now in place, that once that is transformed, you'll see how the energy of sabotage is where your power is where your wisdom is. It just takes the time to get into it. So I'm going to share with you stuff to get into it, give you some big concepts to think about and some micro concepts to think about of how you can apply this to your life so that you can really feel good in your business and you won't overwork yourself, and that you can really feel good in your body, whether you need to recalibrate it to health, or if you're like, I've been doing all the right things and it won't transform, so that you'll start to transform. Or if you have transformed and you're in a thinner body or a more muscular body or whatever you imagine your dream body to be, if you're in it right now and you don't feel any different, I'm going to share with you stuff to work on that mental, emotional stuff. So before we sign off, I'm going to let you know that these podcasts will be recorded live 3 days a week on my Facebook page. And they will be, once they're published, they will be shared into the Body Energetics Facebook group, where we can have discussions about the podcast episode. You can respond to my stories from my Instagram with questions. I'll let you know what we're going to be focusing on in each episode. So if you have specific questions, you can put them in on the stickers on Instagram, or you can just join me for the live recording on Facebook, which will be really, really fun. And then if you go to bodyenergetics.com, you will go to that'll redirect you to our Facebook group. And then also we have a 28-day calibration. And so the 28-day calibration is a guided meditation delivered to you via email. And the meditation is hosted on YouTube. We have a hidden link that you will have access to. And I am going to teach you some energetic fitness. So for 28 days, if you can meditate with me for just 3 minutes a day, you can do more, but at least 3 minutes a day, you're going to start to feel things shift in your mind and in your heart and in your physical body. And so this 28-day calibration is designed as a self-study so that you can go at your own pace. I mean, ideally, you do it every day. Remember, it's just 3 minutes. But it's designed to help you open up energetically, connect your brain and your heart and your physical body, which is going to connect you with the energetic fields of positive masculine energy and negative feminine energy. And you're the neutral, by the way. You're the third part of the field of consciousness. You're the neutral that gets to decide what to do with the energy. And then not only all that, you're going to do this meditation, you're also going to connect to your high heart in your light body. And the more we connect your energy with your high heart, your energetic heart that's attached to your light body, the more you are going to feel connected from the inside out. And the more you have a connection to yourself, your energetic self in your light body, which resides on the non-physical universe. There's two universes, the physical and the non-physical, the material and the anti-material. This is why we have the God particle and antimatter. There's two universes. There's an energetic body of yours that you can reconnect to. And when you have a connection to this energetic side of you, the lights turn on the inside. And you will have such great insights and the greatest intuition you could ever ask for. And you will feel whole. And the things that you might be doing in your business and with your diet, with your food or your exercise or your aesthetic, all of those things you may still do to an extent, but the sabotage won't be there. And then the looking outside yourself to feel complete or whole or beautiful or loved or validated, all the external stuff is just icing on the cake. That meditation will help you come home to yourself and to feel those things within yourself so that then your lived experience is just like, and this, oh my God, like I really felt good. And so that's what we will be doing. I'm so excited to be back podcasting with all of you. You may recognize my voice from Love is a Verb podcast. We're doing this again. We're doing it deeper, and we're doing it with the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual bodies. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you found it helpful, please share it on social media and tag me at It's Lauren Saracione and at Queen Bold EQ. You can just search my name, Lauren Saracione, on the IG, and you should find both of those handles, no problem. I'm going to leave you with a few little snippets of the ladies who were in the very first Queen's Gambit with me. The Queen's Gambit is my year-long transformation where I give you all the coaching you need for mindset, emotions, habits, diet, exercise, and self-care.
First of all, thank you for just giving of yourself and allowing us to be in this space today. That's been really amazing to just see like how much you're giving to us. So thank you for that.
Because I'm not gonna go shame myself anymore. I'm not gonna go fucking judge myself. I'm fucking over it. I'm so fucking done with that old game. It's just an old game. I'm not gonna play anymore.
Adding upper body has actually been really good. I enjoy it because I've always been so scared of it.
The energetic stuff like has been really great for me because I think that's like what my like soul was craving. Like I've been wanting to know more, but like where do I start? So this has been super great.
New identity, new person, new body.
And it was like I could never get past certain plateaus, but this makes so much sense.
Exercises go really well. It's so much fun to have finally a gym.
I remember because it was so significant to me. That was after COVID. It was really difficult for me to go back because I had gained weight. I felt really heavy after having been lighter and through COVID and not working out. That day was really nice because you like encouraged me to like continue. When you told me, you're like, you're strong, sweetie, like you can go heavy, and I was like, really? That like helped me just kind of develop that confidence.
And I'm like, well, I'm gonna take responsibility for the mistake. but I'm not gonna, like, shaming or blaming or judging is not gonna help me take the responsibility. It just makes it like harder. So why the F should I? Like, make it hard for yourself. Come on.